Welcome back to another episode of the AmandaFest podcast, where our mission is simple. It's to inspire and empower you to take aligned action towards your dream life, whatever that looks like for you. We have a very, very special guest here today. Joel is an experimental producer, community builder, and the co-founder of Deep Tropics, Nashville's premier art, music, and style festival, recognized by the New York Times and Forbes as the greenest festival in North America. His sustainability journey began at Appalachian State University, where an internship sparked a lifelong commitment to innovation and environmental stewardship. Joel founded Deep Culture, which is a nonprofit harnessing the power of music to inspire culture and social change through immersive education and wellness. Today, he brings that same vision to the built environment through the Riverstone Group, which is a commercial real estate development firm focused on creating spaces that are not only beautiful, but functional, regenerative, and resilient. From festival grounds to urban landscapes, Joel operates where bold ideas meet real-world impact, driven by a passion for shaping communities that cultivate social well-being and environmental stewardship. We have a lot to dive in with this conversation. I'm truly so excited, but as we've done with every episode, I like to take an opportunity before we dive into the conversation and before you listen for us to arrive in our bodies, get present, and be here now. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, if it's safe to do so, I invite you to close down your eyes. I like to put a hand on my heart and one on my belly. And just start breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really feeling your belly fill up with air on that inhale. Deflate with that exhale. Using this opportunity to tune in to our internal world. Get clear on how we're feeling. Notice how we're feeling. No judgment, just curiosity. What's coming up for you? What thoughts are racing through your head? What sensations are coursing through your body? Where are you tense? Where are you holding tension? I invite you to breathe into those places and spaces and really feel like each exhale you are letting go, releasing. Now I want you to start to think about an intention, something that you're calling in, something that you want more of. Maybe it's peace, presence, joy, whatever it is. I want you to imagine with that inhale, your body is being filled up with that sensation. And on the exhale, letting go of anything that is not in alignment with that intention. A couple breaths like that, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Last one, make it count, in through the nose. Feel free to shake it out, make some noise, do what you gotta do to get here, arrive here and now in this moment. Welcome to AmandaFest. Welcome to your bodies, and welcome to our very special guest, Joel. Hi, how are you?
Hey, Amanda.
How you feeling?
A lot better after that drop-in.
Right? So good. Before we got on, you guys missed it. Joel requested, he said, hey, before we start, can I just shake? Can I just jump up and down and get my energy out? And I was like, yes, sir, you can. Absolutely. I am such a fan of somatic movement and release, and that's why I do this drop-in at the beginning, but it looks different for everyone, right? Some people need a shake, some people need a move, some people need to breathe, some people need stillness. So finding what works for you and making sure to listen to your body and do those things. A plus 10 out of 10 recommend.
Completely agree with you.
Do you have practices that you do often? You're mentioning that you do a lot of breath work. What does your practices look like?
Oh man, yeah, I really love my PEMF mat.
What
I
is that for us that don't know?
It's pulse electromagnetic frequency. It's this mat that's infused with jade and kinds of crystals, and it's warm, and I get my red light, and love dropping into breathwork journeys. That's my go-to.
Do you have an app that you use?
I really like Breathwork with Sandy. He's got an amazing YouTube channel. I also really enjoy Shiva Rasa's channel, Return to Sound. Yeah.
I have an iffy relationship with breath work. It works for me sometimes. For me, dance has been the most cathartic practice because I feel like I'm so restless sometimes. And I used to judge myself a lot because I had a hard time meditating. It looks different for everyone, but we're not taught that. I realized that once I started incorporating different types of movement meditation, now it's easier for me to sit down and be present. So it's like really playing with all the different modalities and figuring out what feels good and works right for you.
100%. Yeah, I love doing breath work and then moving my body. It's nice.
So fun. Well, I'm so happy you're here. So happy. I know you don't do podcasts very often, so I feel very honored and grateful that you said yes to this one. For a little bit of context on our connection, as I mentioned, Joel is one of the co-founders of Deep Tropics Music Festival in Nashville, which I got connected to last year when I was a part of No Fun, KNOWFUN, where we were helping people with intentional partying. We actually had a booth at Deep Tropics. We had something called the Let Go Lounge, where we had a big whiteboard out at the festival and we invited festival attendees to come to the booth, write down something that they were holding on to that they wanted to release. They wrote it down, erased it, and then they got to step into the festival just feeling a little bit lighter and brighter and ready to connect and be present. So that was super fun. That was my first time in Nashville. I don't know if you know that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that was my first experience in Nashville, and I was blown away, honestly, by the city. I loved the culture and the community. Then Deep Tropic itself, I wasn't expecting it. It really exceeded my expectations. Just the ethos of the festival, the vibe of the festival, the way you guys put it together, and it feels like a local community, but you guys have massive headliners. Very well done. So wanted to give you some kudos there just from an outsider's perspective of just what the experience is like coming. So that's how we initially connected. And then over the last year, as you guys know, as you've been following my journey, I started doing AmandaFest and branching off into my own brand of intentional partying and helping people drop into their bodies before they go into the festival space. And Joel and I have been chatting, and there's a really fun collaboration brewing for this upcoming year. So as we were chatting about it, I was like, I'd love to have you on the podcast. One, to talk about that, but two, to talk about this amazing thing that you've created and built. It's so special.
Oh, thanks so much. That means a lot. I know you've traveled all over the world and gone to the best events, so it means a lot coming from you.
You guys are right up there. So I didn't know until you had sent me your bio about the regenerative agriculture, the solar powered biodiesel. Can you walk us through what that was all about? And we'll get into deep culture from there.
Yeah, for sure. I was just really fortunate to the school that I went to. This is 2002 to date myself a little bit. Berkeley and App State were the only two schools that had a sustainable development program. And
what is a sustainable development program?
Sustainable development is basically just exploring different environmental issues, and sustainability at the time was not understood. I feel like now people understand what sustainability is.
Yeah.
So I got to design my own major and be a part of all these cool renewable energy projects and get to put my hands in the soil for the first time, which was really incredible. Got to go to Honduras and do an internship.
Where was this? This is in California?
This is North Carolina.
And where are you from originally, just so we can get some?
Houston, but I grew up in Nashville.
Okay, Houston, Nashville, now we're in North Carolina. Okay, beautiful.
Yep. So yeah, that just turned me on to that life. And then after college, I was really active. I was touring, doing music festivals, and couldn't find a job.
In what capacity were you touring and doing music festivals?
Just as a participant. And we were also vending and doing experiential setups. And
So kind of what I'm doing right now.
yeah, similar to the path that you were on was what I was on. And yeah, there wasn't jobs in my field, but I always knew it would come back around. So when Deep Tropics was ideated by my twin brother Blake, I was living in California at the time. We knew that we wanted to bring people together through music and wellness and create a regenerative impact around an amazing party. That was an original intention since 2017. And since then, I've just gone deeper into my desire to create something more than just a party, really reimagine what's possible when we gather. This has been just an awesome experimental space to be able to explore this each year.
So tell me a little bit about you and your brother got together. What was your brother's background?
So my brother also studied with me at Appalachian State. We were very much aligned. Sustainability became a core pillar from the jump. We wanted to uplift people. We wanted to uplift the planet.
So I know we have two separate entities. We have the nonprofit, which is Deep Culture, and then we have Deep Tropics, the festival. Did Deep Culture come first? I'm curious how the ecosystem works.
Deep Tropics came first. And
so the festival came first.
The festival came first, yeah. And a few years into it, we created Deep Culture. We really wanted to protect the integrity of what we were trying to do and create more structure around it. Originally, it was a really environmentally focused nonprofit, and it has transformed since then to really be about the environment, but also about a deep connection with ourselves and community. And so experiential wellness and immersive education and talks and workshops, festivals are one of the main places where I personally have learned so much about everything. So yeah, that's the background. We have Deep Tropics. Deep Culture is the mother. It's the heartbeat of the whole thing.
So I'm curious, from studying what you did and then stepping into this space, how did you guys know where to begin or what to do? So the focus of this podcast specifically, it's all about inspiring and empowering people to take aligned action towards their dreams, right? You said you're super passionate about this thing. You studied it in school. There weren't really jobs in that industry. You went off and just participated in life and were doing the things you were passionate about. And then somewhere along the way, you were able to find an intersection and then forge a path in that direction. I'm curious what that specific leg of the journey look like for you in terms of never done a festival before, never started a nonprofit before, and now you're doing all these things. How did you know where to begin or what to do?
Wow. I love that that's the theme of your podcast. I have chills. I mean, what I did was follow my dream. It was that simple. And it wasn't just dream singular, it was dreams plural. And I had no idea how it was going to all come together. One of the biggest pieces of advice that I give to other entrepreneurs is to follow your dream and follow it relentlessly. So for me, in some people's eyes, maybe I didn't grow up. I didn't have a real job for so many years. It just all came from passion. My brother really took the lead on the production side. We've been throwing events in Nashville and beyond for over 17 years. And it was an interesting time way back then because really there was no electronic dance music. There was very little hip hop.
In Nashville specifically?
In Nashville specifically. Okay. We took it upon ourselves and saw an opportunity to really champion those sounds. And then as the years passed, I was living in California for, 7 years. Blake comes out and he's like, hey, I want to start this music festival called Deep Tropics. I want you to be a part of it. And I was like, yeah, let's go. We started the festival. I was in between things. I closed one chapter and I was in a new one, and I'm in Costa Rica, and I'm spending a couple of months just finding myself again. I know that I'm going to recreate myself in some way. And I was at Envision Festival, actually, and that was really...
That's on my list. I'm excited to go to that.
I mean, there's no other festival besides maybe lighting in a bottle and burning it.
I've done lightning, I've done Burning Man, so next is Envision. I was going to go this year, but they took a break this year.
Yeah, they did. Well, I'll see you there. I'm ready to go back.
Okay.
That was when Deep Culture was born. It was sort of over a phone call with my brother, and he had the brand name in mind, and he's hilarious. He's like, "Oh, I got this brand. It's called Deep Culture. I don't know what it is, but you're going to figure it out." And in all fairness, I didn't come back to Nashville right away, and so Jade Cicada, Humble Savage, these beautiful individuals, they started cultivating this business plan of what deep culture could be, and we were all over the place. We were like, oh, we're going to do disaster relief, we're going to do all sorts of things. It really got fine-tuned around 2023, where our identity felt like really really solid and complete. But again, it really came from my personal dreams, desires, needs. I moved back to Nashville to start Deep Culture and to become an active participant in creating the festival, opposed to year one, where
Right.
I was just sort of a silent partner. And so I went all in, and I was at a point in my life where most of my friendships and community and things that I built were at festivals, were at shows, were at clubs. And I was craving something more. And I couldn't find anything in Nashville at this time. And so I started throwing just really small invite only events that were psychedelic friendly, but no alcohol. And
Right.
there was wellness and healing and contrast therapy and breath work and
You're doing this before it was cool.
great food. Yeah, this is 2019, 2020, really. And so
Yeah.
it's also, a time where we all desperately needed to connect in a meaningful way.
I feel like that was probably one of the biggest things that the pandemic plus the rise of social media has really done is it's driven us to really craving these in-person connection experiences.
Yeah. And you're right. Now it's a collective thing now.
Oh, totally. And AI too. I think as AI gets more and more progressed and social media and the internet becomes less and less reliable, where you can't tell what's real, what's not, I think it's going to be like going to a club and they're spinning vinyl. And that's like a super authentic, old school kind of vibe. People are going to be straying away from these digital spaces and leaning in towards real connection, real community, real experiences.
Yeah, and let's do it with a high production value and with great music, and let's make it approachable.
Totally. That's so cool. I love that you guys were doing that. Was there a lot of fumbling in the dark, sort of like you said, you had all these ideas? And I see this with a lot of entrepreneurs. I work with entrepreneurs, supporting them and honing their vision. And one thing I think that it's just the entrepreneur mindset is that so many of us are just ideas people. And we're like, ooh, what about this? What about that? How about this? How about that? And so sometimes it's so many different skill sets to go from the ideation to the clarity, to the honing, to the execution. And so I'd love to hear a little bit more about, you said the disaster relief and all these different directions, and then you said you really honed it in. What did that process look like?
Just really getting clear about what we were doing and not being scared that it encompassed a lot. So we created a really simple mission statement. Deep Culture exists to curate experiences that activate transformation of self, community, and planet. What really clicked for me when I realized that caring for the earth is connected to caring for ourselves and our community. So that's what we're about. We figured out who we were. And so it was just beautiful because we're twins, and so we were multiplying ourselves. So my brother held it down for 17 years in Nashville, throwing thousands of events outside of Deep Tropics with Full Circle.
What's Full Circle?
Full Circle is a production company. Full Circle produces Deep Tropics and a bunch of other events.
Cool.
And so Deep Culture became a brand, just like we have a party that's called Resonate. We have a party that's called Decompress. We have these different brands around different events. And so Deep Culture became the brand that focused on experiential wellness and education. So we just had that infrastructure and we shared our resources. And we are now starting to get more sponsorships and more support. But Deep Tropics has donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to our own nonprofit to be able to make the impact that we've made so far.
So amazing. Like really, really, really so special. I'm trying to understand from, you're in Costa Rica, you're having your eat, pray, love moment, you're at Envision, you have this inspiration, your brother calls you in. I guess through the process of throwing events and parties, you kind of figure it out along the way. But was there any pivotal moment where you were like, oh, we're doing this for real now? Or has there always been this imposter syndrome of, I don't know, we're figuring it out as we go, we don't know what we're doing kind of vibe?
I mean, I never doubted that what we were doing was significant and special and
Yeah.
was amazing. But the real jump off moment was last year. It was what you experienced. It was the way that we integrated the cultural heart of deep culture into the festival experience. Not that it was the first time we had done that, but it was the first time where all of the Deep Tropics stakeholders really saw the value of deep culture and what we offer to the festival. So our focus is on all the cross-cultural platforms. It could be fashion, it can be visual art, it could be performance art, it can be education, wellness, speakers. We want to be more than just a music festival.
It's a transformational festival.
Yeah, yeah. Deep Tropics has become sort of a gateway festival for a more transformational life.
Life, yeah. I always talk about festivals as expanders. You step into the festival space for those who haven't been, and it's exactly what you were talking about. You're exposed to things, you have the ability to just stumble upon things that you wouldn't in your everyday life. And those things can be super expansive. These experiences, connecting with people on the dance floor, having conversations, the whole peace, love, unity, respect element of rave culture and gifting culture. And there's all these little elements within it. I was just talking about this with another guest. Everyone gets depressed after Burning Man, after your first burn, because it's like your world is cracked open and you are exposed to the magic of the universe. It's like, wow, I didn't even know the colors could be so bright and music could sound so good and pickles could taste so good. Like I never knew. If you know, you know. But then you come back to the default world and you come back to reality and there's this massive crash typically because people are like, well, I wish life was like this all the time. I wish everybody was open and expressive and creative and kind. And then from my years in this space and touring around the world and going to these different shows and festivals, what I found is it's not dissimilar to psychedelic journeys. Is the psychedelic journeys do the same thing. They crack you open, they expand you, they show you the limitlessness of what is possible. And then the true magic is in the integration. It's how do you take this newfound expansion and integrate it into your daily life so that when you go home, there's not this crash. Now your life is that. And I realized after my first burn, I felt the crash. And then after my last burn, I think the last time I went to burn was in 2022. And I remember coming back and I was like, oh, I'm not sad to go home because I've built a life that embodies the values that I love, that I experienced and learned at the festival. And I think you guys are doing that. And I think what's really cool is that not only do you have your big burn festival, you have all of these integration events throughout the year that are allowing people to keep coming back home to that experience.
Yeah, building community year round is such a key. Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's why we invited you last year, was to really champion that very idea. And that's why we're working together this year. It's so important for me in my personal journey. I'll just speak for myself. I feel like my life's work is learning how to have these incredible peak experiences and then also learn how to just have my feet on the ground.
Yep.
And to party in a regenerative way, whatever that looks like. And I fuck up sometimes, and
It's a practice. It's a practice.
it's a practice. And so I think what's really, really, really exciting to me at this point, and really for years, I've had different role models. I consider you a role model. You're someone I look up to as far as where you're doing these things. You love festival culture, but you're doing it in a way that is sustainable. And I think it's so important for the wellness communities who are also craving these fun.
Fun. Yeah, that's the word. They want fun. Healing doesn't have to be so like hard
I
and
know. So like that's what we're up to, and that's what you're up to,
yeah.
and yeah, that's why we're having this conversation.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. I look up to you as well. That's why I invited you on the podcast. I'm so inspired by what you guys have done and what you're doing. And it's really integrating that part, right? We're talking about environmental sustainability, and then we're talking about sustainability in partying. And it sounds like an oxymoron even when I have my Signature activation. So I guess this is the announcement of our collaboration together. Guys, I'm coming to Deep Tropics this year, and we're doing AmandaFest pre-game meditation both days of the festival, and we're collaborating on a few other exciting projects behind the scenes. But when I tell people at the beginning of my talk, I go, this activation is called the pre-game meditation. And I ask the crowd, when you hear the word pre-game, what comes up for you? And most of the time you're thinking of alcohol, you're thinking of drugs. But the pre-game, like there's a way in which to utilize the pre-game and to utilize partying and to utilize social experiences as a way to connect deeper as opposed to using it as a way to escape. And I say using very intentionally because when it comes to substances, when it comes to psychedelics, when it comes to alcohol, whatever it is, I'm not ever one to say, this is bad, don't do this. It's all about intentionality around whatever it is that you are choosing to do. And having that clarity of the why, because societally we're taught you had a hard day, oh, go grab a glass of wine, smoke a joint, you earned it. And that can be a very slippery slope because then you're training your brain to associate stress, anxiety. You're utilizing substances as a way to numb, suppress, avoid, distract from your emotions, from what's happening. And when you learn to not utilize substances in that way and you use them consciously, intentionally, with integrity, with mindfulness around. I just interviewed another guest. She's a fitness coach for ravers. We were just having a ton of conversations about how to take care of yourself. If you're going to be taking substances, if you're going to be participating in these things, fine, but know what's happening to your body. Know how to hydrate yourself in advance, how to make sure that you're eating right so that you can sustain and that you don't crash afterward.
I love that. The why is so key. If going into this with, I'm going to consume as much as I can, I'm going to have the best each time. I mean, it's so easy to stay in the escape lane, is what it is. And if we can set an intention to expand, to open up, to radiate love, whatever the intention is, it will manifest. So I think this pregame meditation is really going to pop off this year. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. Part of it that I realized when I was starting to put all this together, you know, the science of our subconscious versus our conscious mind, right? That 95% of everything that we do is just our subconscious. It's our autopilot. We're not even thinking about it. And so even having conversations like this can make you think. When I go to a festival or I go to a concert, most people, first thing they do is, oh, let's go to the bar. Why? Well, maybe it's because it's awkward. Nobody's here yet. I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel weird. I feel anxious. Really just ask that question and see what comes up. And typically, for me at least, it was all of those things. It's something to do with my hands. It'll help me feel more safe and comfortable. And when you really strip it down, it comes back to safety. If you feel safe within yourself, you feel comfortable, you're able to come to a place of nervous system regulation, you're not anxious, you're not nervous, you just feel good, you're going to be less inclined to feel like you need anything outside of yourself in order to connect. Because I feel good, I'm attracting people to me. I'm not even having to do anything, say anything. People are like, wow, I want to know you. You can feel that energy from people. And to be able to embody that, I do a lot of sober events. I'm not sober, but I think that it's such an important practice to know and to experience doing certain things. Like if you're going to a 4-day festival, do 1 day sober if you want. Practice. It's just like an experiment so that you can experience what is my baseline, what is coming up for me. Track your emotions, notice what's alive for you, notice what's coming up. And I think that will support definitely overconsumption, right? If you're more clear, you're not going to binge eat if you're aware, oh, I'm not that hungry. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sobriety is essential on some level. It's really, really, really important to know how to go into these spaces and at least understand what that feels like.
Totally.
It was essential for me. And for a while, I was really strict about it. I was in a sober state. It was so important for me to learn how great I could feel just through my breath and my intention and moving my body and staying hydrated and positive affirmations and surrounding myself with great people. Connection is what we're craving.
Yep.
And it's really easy sometimes to not feel comfortable in your own skin, to be insecure, to feel like you need a drink to lower your inhibitions and turn on your personality. It's a real thing. I'm hoping Deep Tropics can be an experiment, and hopefully we can create a model for what a regenerative celebration looks like. Last year, we had hundreds of people that were not using drugs, that were not using alcohol. And we had intentional times together to bridge those communities. And it really is incredible to be able to have a safe space, to be able to take that route if that's where you want to go.
And to learn how to access those levels of euphoria without substances. To know that you can go onto the dance floor and shake your body and let it all out and let it go, and to learn those practices are absolutely game changing. I realized when I was going out without consciousness, and this is really where the pregame meditation came to be in college, because I wasn't clear on what my intentions were. I'd go to parties, I'd go to the pregame, we'd do a bunch of shots, and then I'd go out. And subconsciously, I was always looking to meet someone. I was always like, oh, I'm going to meet the love of my life tonight. That's what's happening tonight. And lo and behold, every night that didn't happen, I was disappointed. And it didn't matter who I was with, where I was, what we were doing, how epic the DJ was. I think throughout college, throughout my early 20s, I was at so many shows and events and like clubs, I couldn't tell you a single DJ. I wasn't paying attention because I was hyper focused on this one thing. And that was the thing that was leading me to have a bad time every time I went out. And the minute I was aware of that, and I was like, oh, this is why I don't like going out, because I'm always coming home disappointed because I have this subconscious expectation of the way the night's going to go. Versus now, I'm like, okay, I'm going out with a new friend. My intention is to just be super present with my friend. Or my intention is to be really open to the magic of what wants to unfold. Like last night, I went to a sauna rave in New York. I met some random guy who was friends with my friend from LA. I haven't seen her in 2 years. She ended up at the rave. We were out till 5 a.m. last night. And it was one of those nights where I went in with the intention of, I'm open to the magic of what wants to unfold. And then we're sitting on the couch at 5 a.m. with a slice of New York pizza, being like, man, New York magic. It's setting those intentions and setting yourself up for the possibility, for the curiosity, for the magic. And those are things that I'm sure you've experienced. You get to practice at festivals because it's so hyper magic.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just blown away. You're articulating this all super well. I'm soaking it up.
It's so true. At music festivals particularly, it happens like that. You've been to Burn, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, oh man, I'm craving a grilled cheese sandwich. And then all of a sudden someone's like, grilled cheese sandwiches. And you're like, whoa, life can work like that. You can just get clear on what you're desiring. And then I talk about this in the pregame meditation. There's this part of our brain called the reticular activating system. And essentially when we do visualizations, when we're clear on what we're calling in, our brain is more likely to recognize that it's going to look for it and it's going to align with those opportunities as they arise because you've put it in your forefront. It's like when you think about a red car, then you walk down the street and you're like, oh my God, I see red cars everywhere, because your brain's now hyper tuned to that.
I had an amazing experience in 2023 where I broke the kickstand on my e-bike. And I was like, shit, I was holding it up with a water bottle and I was like, you know what? This is all good. I got my water bottle kickstand. I'm good to go. And then I look over and there's a kickstand sitting on the floor. It looks like it just came out of the package. It's the exact model of the kickstand that I needed. Yep. And it's just pure magic.
It's so hard to describe, but once you experience those things at festivals, it allows you to be like, oh, but why can't life be like this? And then my life is a music festival, 100%. But it's because of my mindset, and it's because I've had so much practice in those spaces. It's about how you show up. If you go out in the world with your arms crossed, looking down at your phone, you're not going to connect with people. You're not inviting connection. You're not inviting somebody to come say hello to you, or you're not going out of your way to say, hey, self, community, planet, cool, what's that mean? My friend posted something where he was talking about in the olden days, probably not that long ago, women used to drop a handkerchief when they wanted a man to come speak to them. They're giving an invitation for someone to come pick it up and say, oh, you dropped this. It's inviting connection, inviting that opportunity. You're an active participant in there.
Let's bring back that tradition.
Right? You know what I started doing though? My handkerchief moment has been wearing something that's a conversation starter. I have an AmandaFest hat now, and I am telling you, every single place I go, every single day, somebody, oh, is your name Amanda? What's AmandaFest? It's the first thing people say to me now when I wear the hat. Or at festivals, it's like you wear something interesting. You're giving people an opportunity to, oh, maybe I think you're cute and I want to talk to you, but I don't know what to say. But, oh, you're wearing really cool glasses. Well, I can go up to you and say, hey, I like your glasses. And if you're wanting to connect with someone, anytime I think something of anyone, I walk past them on the street, I say it. I walk past a woman and she's wearing an amazing dress. I'm like, you look awesome. And you never know what that's going to spark. And you can practice that at festivals.
That's a great practice.
Right? It's super fun. So in terms of your scaling, I'm looking at the lineup for this year, and you guys have a stacked lineup. You've got some really amazing people. What has that process been like of really building this Nashville community base and now expanding into working with top tier artists?
A lot of it has had to do with, we raise the budget a little bit every year, and we sell a few tickets a little more every year. And so there's just the ability to work with some of these artists. One year we had artists from 6 different continents. We really try to give people a little bit of everything. So from really obscure techno to deep house to bass music and everything in between. That's really important for us to distribute equally. I feel like we're really a tastemaker event. We have to sell tickets, of course, and so that drives some of it. We also really prioritize and platform BIPOC and LGBTQ and femme artists, and it's really important for us to have all of everybody welcome. The stat is crazy. Like there's 15% female artists that are playing at the average festival. We haven't done all the math yet, but we're climbing up toward 40% when you count all the afters and all the performers and artists across all of the platforms.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a decision maker as well. And then when possible, we really like to book artists that are aligned with our values. And so, Lane 8 has an incredible background with the environmental work that he's done as a geologist before his career popped off.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I thought you were going to talk about the This Never Happened tour.
Oh, well, that's another thing. Just the power of presence, him creating a really, really meaningful event brand. Chris Lake hasn't had a drink in 10 years, is what I heard.
Really?
So there's all these artists are the biggest influencers. We need those reflections from the people we look up to
show us what's possible. My friend has this really beautiful quote. I think I quote him on every single podcast. He says that we are the human permission slips. So by us showing up in our authenticity, in our truth, and just by being, we're inherently giving others permission to do the same. And when it comes to big artists who have massive platforms, who have people looking up to them, there's a really big responsibility there to share your truth and not to preach it onto anyone and not to tell anyone this is what you should do, this is what needs to happen, but it's just showing people here's what's possible. I do that with all the things that I share about. I'm like, hey, this is how I do it, and you can do it that way too if that feels aligned for you. Yeah. And what I think you guys are doing is you're the stage. You're the stage of let's put these people on the stage and put a spotlight on them in this light, right? These are all artists that are extremely successful in their own right, but I think what's going to be really fun this year, which we were brainstorming on, and for those of you who are coming to Deep Tropics or following them on socials, the idea is to really give these artists the opportunity to share and to share how they connect with the values of deep culture and how they do these things in real life. I didn't know that about either of those artists. And I follow Chris Lake and I follow Lane 8, and I had no idea that that's something that's important to them.
Yeah, one of the differentiators that Deep Tropics has, and that's really gone to the next level for this 2025 edition, is the number of artists that are playing the festival and also offering a second offering, like a workshop, a talk, a panel, a production masterclass, a live interactive Ableton push play workshop.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited as well.
You know who I think does a really good job of this? Do you follow John Summit at all?
Yeah.
I appreciate the way that he goes to the shows and performs at them, but then he's always in the crowds and he's always interacting with the community. And it's not just like, hey, I'm up here on a pedestal. It's like, I'm a part of this. And he was a festival goer years prior to becoming a DJ, but it's very cool to integrate the artist with the community. You know, I worked in the entertainment space for 10 years, and there is this pedestalization of the artists are up here and we're over here and they're doing this, and we're all the same. They just have a bigger platform. That's literally the difference. And maybe they're more talented than you. I don't know.
Yeah, John's great at it. LS Dream's another incredible example. He's a people man. He's here for his people. And it's really nice when these big stars bring themselves down to earth and make themselves accessible and share stuff beyond their music.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm curious, is there more to what you guys are mapping out and building? Are you guys actualized in the dream of what you're creating? Is it still evolving?
Oh, yeah. At the tip of the iceberg, I feel like.
What's coming up the pipeline?
Really turning Deep Tropics into a week-long conference. Think about a South by Southwest, Art Basel, with a focus on regenerative design and wellness, surrounded by really great parties. We've taken a couple of steps in that direction. Last year, we launched our first Deep Culture Summit, really a sustainability-focused event with speakers and also entertainment and art and music. We are doing that again this year. So the Deep Culture Summit on the Thursday before the festival is going to be incredible. We're talking about screening some films. So yeah, that's kind of feeling like the future.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love the intersection of the transformational festival element of it. I love the intersection of the education. And I think that especially in the times that we're in now, art is such a catalyst for change. It's really the main method in which people are listening.
I completely agree. Art is the way. Art and music, it shapes how we think and feel and imagine the world and see what it can be.
And so if you're able to infuse intentionality and meaning and purpose behind the art and the fun and the play and the enjoyment, you're like, it's like a gold mine.
Yeah. Another thing that came to mind is our fashion initiatives. We're doing our third annual sustainable runway show, and we have 7 different designers who are going to create 4 or 5 unique looks for Deep Tropics and model them on the Lotus stage. I'd say the thing I'm most excited about in this moment is that we're going to be offering a full-on spa and salon. So anything from hair and makeup and braids and glitter to sauna, cold plunge, all the biohacking tools, oxygen bar, IVs, all the things. So we're going to create that world within Deep Tropics this year.
I love that so much. I think that's such a big part of it. When you go into the festival space, being able to radically express, being able to put on a different persona, feeling good, being in your body. So all of those things are so exciting. I am the most excited about this collaboration. I know we have many more conversations to happen. You guys definitely follow Deep Culture and Deep Tropics. I'm going to put both of them in the show notes below. From the conversations we've been having, I feel it for sure that you guys are on the precipice of some really massive, big things. And if you haven't been to Deep Tropics, come to Nashville. It's going to be so fun. Come do the AmandaFest pregame meditation IRL.
I am equally excited about the ever expanding AmandaFest role at Deep Tropics. I would love for any of your listeners to feel welcome to attend. Happy to make that as accessible as we can and provide some discount codes. And yeah, just so grateful for the work that you're doing in the world and so happy with all of the deep alignments that we're finding together and really appreciate this conversation.
Well, thank you so much for saying yes. Truly, truly means the world to me. You guys, I will be adding in the show notes below Deep Tropics, Deep Culture, follow along, discount code coming soon. We'll share that on social, so make sure to follow my Instagram, which will also be below. And I'll be sharing all that information. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to like, subscribe, message us if any of this conversation resonated. We always love to hear back from the viewers, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.